Hi, everybody. Welcome to Bravo Confessionals. I'm Taylor, and I'm here with Michelle and Mel and our friend Elyse Slaine from Real Housewives of New York.
Hi.
And we're just going to catch up since the reunion and just regroup, I guess. So
and that's it. I think a lot of people, this is why we wanted to talk to you. I think a lot of people wish you had gotten a chance to show at the reunion your side of things, you know? So we just like to hear from you, see, you know, what's going on with you. What have you seen since the reunion? Did you watch, obviously, did you watch it?
I did. I did. I watched it. You know, I was definitely disappointed that I was brought up on the reunion because since they didn't have me there, and I couldn't counter what was being said or put some clarity on what was being said, right? Because perception is reality. So Ramona's perception of what happened and mine are completely different. So yeah, I was disappointed that my name came up at all.
Yeah, and they didn't reach out to you at all, like asking you if you could like show up or if they call you or anything like that? No, nothing.
No, no.
Now, how long have you and Ramona been friends for? You guys have been friends for a really long time.
Yeah, we've been in the same social circle for like 20 years, but we've been friends for about 5 years.
Okay.
We sort of went full circle that we started out not really being fond of one another, and then I thought got very close, and then did a complete 360 and are not fond of one another again.
Well, I mean, you're amongst friends with that one because I can't stand Ramona. But
yeah, friends. So I think the last time we saw you was at Leah's Married to the Mob anniversary party, which was crazy. And I'm curious to know what your relationship with Leah is like, because we know over the summer, at least, we saw you guys hanging out quite a bit and doing your little cameo thing that was crazy, but fun.
You know, that cameo, by the way, I had never had a cameo go in the public domain. So that cameo was not planned out. And I was surprised by the ending as much as everyone else was, because what I thought Leah was going to say as to why Ramona can't meet a man is because she's the 1%, like it's quoting what Ramona said. And I did laugh because it was funny and it was shocking. And I should not have uploaded it, but I literally had 28 cameos to do that day. So I was just cranking through them. And if I had taken a second to think about it and realized that that would go on social media, I would not have uploaded it. So that was my bad, and I own that. And I did feel badly about that because Ramona was very upset about it. And while we seem to have no allegiance to one another, I never wanted to go so low with something.
Because you're still human. You're still like, and I think that's why like the viewers watching you throughout the seasons were like, we can connect to Elyse because she says what we're all thinking.
And she's a real
but also has that quality of, I shouldn't have said that, which if you ask a lot of the other women that are still in the season, they might not care what they said. They're like, yesterday's news, who cares? But you actually care about what's said.
Yeah, no, I do care about what's said. And I do feel badly about how far down the rabbit hole Ramona and I went. And, you know, I did right after the reunion, I did sort of my rebuttal on another podcast, and I was angry. But with a little distance already, being a week or so since, or however long that was, once again, I try to be introspective and just think, what role did I play in this? Because, you know, Ramona and I, although we were at the same place at the same time, we both have completely different views of what happened. And I believe she believes her version of it. Now, I think she, by nature, lacks the ability to be introspective and say, okay, this is where I played a role, and this is where Elyse played a role. I think I'm more introspective by nature. But knowing that about her, maybe I should have been the one to just say, okay, enough.
Yeah. And I mean, I get, because that just makes you a good person, that you have empathy. You can put yourself in the other person's shoes and say, you know what, I did wrong. Where we all think that of Ramona, like this woman can never really put herself in somebody else's shoes. So I think that's why the world kind of related to you, because you were saying what we were all kind of basically thinking, but you also put a real person on it, like a human level, where you were like, I'm a real person, and if I hurt you, I'm sorry, you know?
Right. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, look, I mean, I'm sure, I don't know what set her off. I will probably never know. Something did. I mean, she went from 1 minute being my friend and really wanting me to be a part of it to, sticking me at the end of the table, not interacting with me, and, then disparaging.
Do you think that was because you were growing these relationships with the other women?
I don't know. I mean, I've known Dorinda for about 15 years. I knew Sonja a long time. Although LuAnn claims to have not known me. She does. Although I had no friendship with her, she certainly knew me. I mean, so, and I don't understand why she had such a dislike for me. I don't know.
I actually feel like I don't know Ramona. I only see her on my TV screen once a week or whatever, every couple months. But I feel like it probably was like you were getting love from the fans, and the fans were really kind of digging you, and she was not. So that she probably was like, well, this is a fresh new face. She's getting a lot of the followers. People really like her. I'm going to now have a problem with her.
Well, that sounds good in theory, except when you look at the chronology of it, fans didn't know me when she and I turned bad, right? Because
it's filmed.
And they didn't know me then. So I really don't know what happened. I keep saying it, I kind of feel a bit like a jerk because normally I can figure something out, but I don't know. And I definitely, when things were over, and I admit she put out an olive branch a couple of times and I didn't take it because I was hurt. I was really hurt. And in hindsight, do I regret not taking the olive branch and at least talking it out to hear what she had to say? Yeah, I should have heard her out. But, sometimes when there's a lot of emotion involved, you're just not open to it yet. You just need time to decompress, try to understand where everyone's coming from. And I thought that we would talk over the summer. That's what I figured. But then things went bad, from bad to worse over the summer with social media.
Well, and we
taking shots at each other.
We spoke to you just a few months ago, and you are in the same place as you were a few months ago, which is you're still, empathetic, still interested in, resolving the issue, figuring out what the main issue was. So you are still the same. It's her that hasn't gotten any better, from an outsider's perspective looking in.
Right. Yeah, I mean, when I was first doing the, podcasts and interviews, I never put her down. I just, and she did put me down, and then I got angry all over again. I had calmed down by the summer, and I had said, I think it was on Us Weekly, that Ramona was independent and smart and a good mom. I mean, I tried to stay objective because I do think she's independent and pretty and a good mom, so I really tried to be objective about it. On the other hand, she came out swinging both in our personal social circles and on social media. So I sent her a text and I said, okay, we could do this your way. And so I put my gloves on too. And so that's where things just got really ugly. And then the cameo was the nail in the coffin.
Now, I do have a question. You said you put your gloves on. Did you put them on at Trinity Boxing with Martin Snow?
No, but I would love to. I love
Have you met him?
We love him too. I follow him on Instagram and like, it's the most random crap, but I love that man.
Yeah, yeah. He's a prophet.
Yeah.
So now, do you have a good relationship with Dorinda and Tinsley or any of the other girls? Sonja, I know you said you were friends with them for a while. Do you have a relationship?
Dorinda and I have a nice relationship. Tinsley and I haven't spoken since she moved. I know through the grapevine that she was upset that I had defended Dorinda somewhat. And basically what I was saying is that Tinsley was not a wallflower. You know, I wasn't condoning how bad some of the comments were. I was just saying that at times I saw Tinsley, you know, come in for the fight as well. So I still believe Tinsley is a very sweet woman, and just not capable of going for the jugular. And so when you pick a fight with someone who will say, okay, you know, bring it, let's go, you know, that was my point. You know, obviously I talked to Leah. I was upset with Sonja that at the reunion that she had made a comment that I betrayed Ramona, because it was not what she was saying to me all season. So I was definitely upset about that, and I haven't spoken to Sonja since.
It's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, you know, it's a tough show. You know, it's a tough environment to be in. And if I had a crystal ball and I knew how it was all going to turn out, I probably wouldn't have done it.
Do you think not doing it is worth saving your friendship with Ramona? Like, was it good enough to trade your friendship with Ramona for the show?
You know, look, the show was her gig and her livelihood, right? And I did come on as her friend. So I have to pay deference to that. Did I enjoy my friendship with Ramona? Yeah, I got a kick out of her. I took the good and the bad, and you know, what you see on screen is what you get. She is sometimes oblivious to how things sound to other people when she says them. But look, I was friends with her for quite a while and cared about her. So yeah, I mean, I wish I didn't step in.
What's the age difference in your daughters? I'm just curious.
They're the same age, and they were
okay.
Little girls. They were best friends.
That's what I was curious about, because that makes it all so much difference when like you bring kids and family into the mix. It's like you just have that deeper bond. I don't know.
You know, when the kids were good friends, she and I did not like each other. We just sort of tolerated one another.
Oh.
The irony.
Yeah, so it wasn't until the girls actually kind of went in different directions. And then I guess they considered one another more family friends. So when one of us would have a function, then, you know, Avery would come or Nicole would come, something like that. But they were not solicitous of one another anymore by the time Ramona and I had become friends.
Okay.
By the way, is like my biggest fear as a parent. My daughter's only 3, but like if you don't get along with the kids' parents, do you like stop your kids hanging out with them?
Yeah, no, I think you have to.
You just suck it up.
Yeah, you got to suck it up.
Mel's like, pass.
You know, I'm a real tough person to get along with to begin with. So like I wear my emotion on my face. If I didn't like the mom of the other kid, I'd be like, bye. Oh, we have to have drinks together. I mean, we are having drinks together. We have to. Okay. Oh man. Michelle, we got it in for ourselves.
Glutton punishment.
So your relationship with Leah then now is good, right?
Oh yeah, I Leah's going to do great things. I have a lot of respect for her, what she's doing with Married to the Mob, and you know, there's something just young and liberating about Leah, right? I mean, Leah says things that I'm more deliberate in my speech pattern. And Leah just sort of comes out with things with, no regrets. And whereas initially that shocked me, now I'm like, yeah, that's kind of cool. I like that.
Like that's part of Leah. You're gonna just get it how it is.
So I appreciate that about her, and I also appreciate her vulnerability and ability to turn around and apologize if she has offended.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Really like that, because we don't do that on these shows at all.
Right.
So was Tinsley, because I know Tinsley and Leah are buddies.
Uh-huh.
But you said that Tinsley was upset with you for kind of defending Dorinda a little bit, but Leah did the same thing during the reunion. I'm wondering if Tinsley got upset with Leah for defending Dorinda as well. Yeah.
I know that Leah really, really has Tinsley's back and cares very deeply about her. So
yeah. It's so nice to see their friendship, especially when they came out that WAP thing, which first of all, when the WAP came out, I was like, take this song off the radio. Like, we're not allowed to sing Baby It's Cold Outside, but now we're WAPing all around.
Exactly. I mean, the hypocrisy of it all, right?
Oh.
So man. I was like anti-WAP until I saw Tinsley and Leah do the dance. I was like, we're all WAPing. We're all WAPing.
No, that was adorable. And they looked really good too.
Yeah.
Now, do you have any kind of inkling about, because I know there's some rumors that are going around about possibly focusing a little bit more on Leah's friends for next season? If you can't address it, that's totally fine. But
I know nothing about it. I mean, I know that they definitely wanted more diversity, but I have no idea who the new people are.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I would just like to say that in this climate, I personally, and no one else has to comment on this, that episode where there was a ton of diversity at Leah's party and the women were like they were crawling out of their skin, a majority of them, namely Ramona, I feel like that speaks volumes to changes that need to be made, not just within the particular New York franchise, but altogether.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of the comments made about people saying that they think Ramona is racist, and I had said even at the height of hating her, I don't think she's a racist.
You said that when we talked to you last time. You said Ramona's a lot of things, but she's not racist. I remember that.
I still hold the line on that. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she is. I think that wasn't her vibe, right? At that party, but I don't think it had anything to do with people's diverse backgrounds. It just, it wasn't her vibe. Her vibe is more of an Upper East Side, right? I mean, so I think that
hoity-toity.
What?
As my mom would call it, hoity-toity.
Hoity-toity, yeah.
I don't think it was, particular necessarily, how these people were born in their appearance, but I think it was more so how they choose to appear or how they choose to dress themselves. That's what I was meaning by the.
But you know what? You could say the same thing if you took any of those people and brought them to one of Ramona's ladies' luncheon, right? They would also have an allergic reaction to it, right? So it goes both ways.
As would
Except for Sonja. Sonja was loving it. I heard Sonja maybe took one of those boys home that night.
Oh. I don't know.
I'm here for it.
They were pretty cute though.
Oh yeah.
That was one of my favorite episodes. Just like, I was like, I want to be back in New York. Send me home.
Yeah, no, they were pretty. It was a really cool crowd.
I have to say though, you standing up for yourself and you acknowledging Ramona, where most people would have just been like, oh, she just totally ignored me. You stood your ground and you were like, really? You're gonna walk away like as if you don't know me? I was like, yes, girl, get her. And then she bolted.
You saw Leah was like, because I looked at Leah like, oh my God, she ran away. And Leah's like, go, go. You know, so Leah was, you know, egging me on a little bit. But yeah, no, I mean, you could see in that moment, right? I mean, someone had asked if that was rehearsed, and it was not. I didn't want to fight with her. I tried to avoid fighting with her all season. And, you know, eventually I did call her out on things because I was upset, you know, and I didn't understand really how the show was working still.
Mm-hmm.
So, but in that moment, yeah, I was definitely triggered.
Yeah, because it's hurtful. I mean, it's a friend that you've had in your life for 20 plus years or whatever, and for them to just completely act as if you don't exist, that's hurtful.
Yeah.
So, well,
Yeah.
well, we love you, Elyse, and we appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
Do you guys have anything else?
No, we were just catching up. I don't know.
Catching up.
Don't ask me. I'm the awkward one. Ask someone else.
Nothing awkward about you, darling.
Well,
how are you guys doing? How's your summer been?
I'll start.
we all just
I mean, we're good, but I have the never ending summer because I'm a nanny and all of the kids that I nanny are school age. So there's doing virtual. So in my town, I live in Ohio. In my town, you were given the choice of after the first 9 weeks of the semester, you can choose to send your kids back to school, or you can choose to keep them home for the whole year. And once you make that choice, you can't go back.
Yikes.
So my bosses are doctors, and they were like, the kids are staying home all year, right? So I'm like, happy to have this wonderful job, and I love these children, but virtual school is a nightmare. So I went from like virtual teaching to summer with the kids, back to virtual teaching, and it's really hard. I don't know why I shouldn't be bitching about this right now, but I just got off work this morning. I'm like, what?
Every friend that I have with young children right now is horrified. You know, I mean, look, they didn't sign up to be teachers, and some of them are in situations where they need to work and their kids always, you know, tugging at their arm or something. I couldn't imagine. And I worked with my daughter very closely when she was in school. Since she was a little girl, I used to play math games with her. Like I taught her blackjack, and that's how she learned to add.
Oh, that's
and we would play for mini marshmallows, you know, till I realized that, you know, her math was getting really good and she was on a sugar high because she kept getting the marshmallows.
That's amazing.
You know, but, you know, so I was really hands-on, and where I taught her how to write and things like that. But if I actually had to be her teacher, oh my gosh. I mean, I couldn't imagine how stressful that is. And especially with like my trading and stuff, when you just really need to be focused, you know, a nanosecond distraction could cost me a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'm empathetic to your plight.
It's just hard because there's 3 kids, 3 different ages, and I'm like running around. I told these kids, I was like, I'm going to be skinny by the end of the school year because like 2 are upstairs, 2 are downstairs, and I'm constantly like getting Taylor. So I'm like doing the flights, but like I'll take it. If that's how I get skinny, I'm skinny.
What about you now?
Well, a lot has changed. So quarantine kind of, you know, kicked my ass and sort of forced me in an upward direction. So it took me from being inside all day, and, you know, I had been staying home with my daughter. So I stayed home with my daughter for 22 months. She just turned 2. And I just sort of took a risk, and I asked my buddy if he was hiring, you know, for front desk staff at his gym. And he said, no, I actually need a personal trainer. Why don't you just train, you know, why aren't you just a professional personal trainer? And I said, I don't really know, Joey, because I'm nervous. And he said, well, come in here and just come on and do it. So he sort of, you know, forced me into it. And so my daughter, you know, we took her to daycare. She's excelling in daycare, and I sort of like did the reverse from the world. So everyone is now at home all the time. And then I went, and now I've left from being home all the time. So
Wow.
yeah, so now I'm a you know, personal trainer, and I have clients, and you know, I'm helping people succeed and stay healthy. But I kind of feel like, you know, it was the right direction for me, the perfect timing. You know, just considering we can't stay well if we are not keeping well. So
Right.
yeah, so it's gotten better, but it's really, really hard to, you know, see how it's affecting everyone else. I'm lucky enough that my daughter is young enough, you know, to where she doesn't need any sort of schooling or anything like that. I only have her. So like, you know, Michelle struggles, and you know what Taylor's going through. It's like, you know, I can't even really say sorry, because I would just be saying sorry all day, every day. So I'm just like, here it is, forever sorry. Like, yeah, I've had a bad day too, but no, I'm just not going to talk about it. Like, I ran out of practice or something. Like, wait,
What about you, Michelle?
See, I kind of did the opposite of Mel. I was working as an esthetician for 15 years at this one spa, and I got let go, and which I think is bullshit, because they were like, they let go of the people who were at the lower, and I had just come back from maternity leave a month and a half before that. So I was like, well, obviously my numbers are gonna be crap. Like, I was on maternity leave for 6 months out of the year, but I think it was a blessing in disguise, because I'm able to now spend a lot more time I have a 3-year-old daughter, and he's 1-year-old now. And it's awesome, but I'm freaking exhausted. I can't even imagine like being a stay-at-home mom, and if I had to continue to go to work every day,
Right.
like it's a struggle. So, I mean, I'm still working with my daughter, trying to, like, you know, we're doing ABCs, we're doing shapes, we're doing colors, we're doing all that fun stuff. But if I were to actually have to do like times tables and math and all that crazy new math and stuff, they'd be like, all right, we need to call Michelle. She's certifiable.
You know what else? No, it's a fun little game with kids also. I used to make these, I used to call them math clues. And I'd take these little Post-its, and I would write a riddle that my daughter had to solve. If she solved, first she had to do a math problem on one side. So, and they progressively got harder. So when she solved the math problem, she turned it over, and there was a riddle. And the riddle led her to the next Post-it. And I would have like 10, 15 Post-its all around the apartment. So she was doing math, she was solving riddles, which were always little poems. And then if she solved them all, she got points. And she was allowed to either save her points and accumulate them and use them for something really big, or little ones and buy, you know, gummies or whatever. But like her big points, if she saved them, and I'm the big proponent in teaching kids how to save, she was allowed to, and I'm going to sound like a bad mom for this, she was allowed to use her points to buy a personal day from school.
Oh, yes!
Like,
Mom of the year. What do you mean bad idea?
As long as she didn't have a test or something, she didn't need an excuse. She was like, she could turn in her points and be like, I'm buying a personal day. And that personal day, you know, if she wanted to, you know, go to the Bronx Zoo or, you know, go to a movie, I mean, it was her personal day.
And that's great, because honestly, you're preparing her for the workforce.
Right.
Like, you have to accrue days in order to take one. So
you just blew my mind.
because that's
My
like,
games, sorry.
that's like the only thing you would want as a kid. So it's like, yeah, I mean, mom's going to give me money anyway, or she's going to have to buy me, you know, this thing eventually. So either way, I'm going to get it. But listen, I'm not always going to get just like a free day. So that is totally worth working up to, or like building to.
That's incredible. My game that I do with them is I name them each a different person throughout the day, and they have to like call them. So like Javi was Marshmallow all day. Danny was Katy Perry. Enrique was Joe Burrow, who plays for the Bengals. And like if they break that, like, I don't know, they don't get like the surprise at the end of the day. But it's just about like training their brain to just like be ready for whatever's
becoming
coming.
another person.
You're right.
I mean, Nicole was like, she was so loving these personal days that she was, again, getting really good in math, hence the kids, you know, in finance, you know, now at 26. But
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, like this kid's going to be missing too much school. I got to make these problems really much harder now, you know?
Such a good idea.
That is a good idea.
I've learned so much from you, Elyse. I have so many new things I'm going to do. I mean, she's only two, but you never know.
You never know.
She'll
And
know. She'll
I
know
gave
the
you
poker
advice
tables.
on my Instagram. Do you see this? Some of my Instagram posts, I give dating advice.
Yes. Yeah, we've seen those. Yeah. None of us are dating, but yeah, it's great.
Yeah, but do you agree? Or like even how to fight, like even, you know,
Yeah.
this applies to a marriage as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
good, good.
Well, Elyse,
our
thank
fun
you so
chatting
much.
with you. What?
I said thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me back on.
Yeah. Well, we wish you well, and we'll chat again. And
Absolutely.
good luck with everything.
You too.
Okay.
Let us know if you
All
need
right.
anything. If you need, someone to buffer, any issues that you're having. We love to kind of put out other stuff in other directions just to take the heat off,
Okay. Thank you. All right.
All right.
See you soon.
All right.
All right. Bye.
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 Diamonds ain't got nothing on you.